Good evening. I am back. Part 2. I was doing a live earlier. Who's there? Let me know who's there. Oh, hi, Texas. I was on here a few minutes ago, but I had to take care of some business, so I had to end the live. So I'm back. I'm back. And the topic was, you have the power to reject their protection. But, I started talking about other stuff. But it still kind of intertwines, right? Yeah, it's part 2. Yeah, it's part 2. I'm back. I'm sitting at the park. I love it. I was going to go outside and sit, but it's too windy, and I don't want too much noise to be. I don't want too much noise to be in the recording. But yes, what I was talking about was that I understand why now that you're supposed to save yourself, and we shouldn't have all this, just casual intertwining with people, right? Right? Because that's why. Yeah. I just be led. I don't be playing, and I let the Lord lead me. And listen, whatever he put on my heart, I didn't want to talk about what I wanted. I didn't want to talk about what I talked about in the last video, but I did it. Whatever he put on my heart. Use me. Use my mouth as a vessel. I can't control it. Whenever he puts something in me, I say it. Regardless. And see, that's another thing I used to be afraid of when I was younger. This is how you're called. Some of you. God will put something on your heart, and folks gonna get mad at you. You know it. He'll put something on your heart to say or address, and you won't even say it. You won't say it because you don't want people mad at you. I did that for years. I did it for years. When I tell you years, afraid. And it's not like I was gonna be nasty or anything. He just put little things on my heart to say, to people. Wouldn't even do it. Afraid because I don't even want to lose their kinship, friendship, love ship. I didn't want to lose whatever ship. The sun shining directly in my eyes from the side. Yeah. I didn't want to lose it. I was afraid because I had that rejection in me. But once he healed me from that rejection, I tell you, and whatever he tell me to tell you, I'm going to tell you. Whatever the Lord say tell you and address, I'm going to address. Yes, I am. Even myself, I got to tell my own stuff. Listen, I'm not exempt. I'm not exempt. Yes, I'm not exempt. When he tell me, you going to say this about you. I got to say this about me, whatever this is. I'm not exempt. Because, see, people want to be used by God, but they don't want to obey everything he says. We want to hold back. And a little reserve for us. No, can't have no reserve. That's why I talked about detaching. That's why I detach from everybody. On an emotional level. So my feelings won't be hurt when people leave me because I'm speaking the truth. Right? So my feelings won't be hurt. When I start speaking the truth and people get offended, my feelings won't be hurt. They won't be hurt. But our feelings be hurt because we be emotionally tied to people. And they don't like what we have to say. That's why. Some people will receive it and some people won't. Right? Sun went down. Yeah, some people will receive it and some people won't. And that's okay. That's okay. Because your obedience is what's going to get you where you need to go. Your obedience is part of your healing. That's why some of you all can't get healed, because you're not obeying. But back on the top of what I was talking about. That's why I understand now more than ever why you're supposed to wait. Not The world made it so normal for you to be casually dating. And when people say date, they automatically assume that you're sleeping around with the person. And that's what people automatically think. If you're dating, they think you're supposed to receive some type of benefit in that arena because you're dating. That's what the world has taught us. That's why so many people are so emotionally unregulated. Emotionally, mentally dysfunctional. That's why. But the world, they're not going to tell you that. This is on a spiritual level. They're not going to tell you that. We shouldn't. That's why I told my daughters they can't date when they're teenagers. We can't be having no dates. Nobody coming to the house. Some people like, oh yeah, you let them date because I heard one girl say she gonna let her child date because she don't want her child to be gay, grow up and like girls. I said you can't stop that. Only thing you could do is pray and teach them the right way. That's not something you have control over. But teaching them the right way, even people you teach the right way, they still grow up and make their decision. And that's not the only thing in the world that they could do. They still gonna grow up and make the decision they want to make. Because you got to check the bloodline. It's the bloodline that you're battling with. It's not your child. The bloodline, you got to see what's going on in the bloodline. You got to fight this stuff on a spiritual level. Not on a surface level. You can't get mad at your child. Some spirit don't gain access to them. Either through you, right? Either through generations. Sometimes we don't be knowing where it comes from. Either something they did. You don't be knowing. Some people do feel like they was born that way. I don't agree with it, but some people feel like they were born that way. That's because a spirit has gained access to them through the wound of their mom. The wound of their dad depends on what type of spirit mixing up in the womb. Because now you got a lot of people, especially men, secretly in the closet. They don't want to come out. Too prideful to come out. They battling. That's why you battling. They battling with their sexuality. Now you battling. Because they battling. They tipping out there messing with Steve and Eve and the rest of them. So you battling. And you don't know why you battling. That's why the marriage is all dysfunctional. It's the secret sins. That's why God tells us to confess our sins one to another. Because when you confess it, right? When you confess it, right? You can bring light on it and you can kill it. But as long as you're trying to hide it and you sneaking and doing, and wonder why them children battling. They battling them secret sins mom and daddy did. And then shed light on. Then repent for. Don't want nobody to know. But here I am battling with my identity. You battling with your identity because dad was battling with his identity. Mama was battling with her identity. But nobody never talked about it because we don't want nobody to know that we were struggling. We don't want nobody to know. Everything be so secretive. That's why we can't fight these curses. But that's where the mental health, the mental issues, and you battling in your spirit, folks going nuts. That's because of what's in them. Too many spirits been released in them. Too many partners, too many relationships. Some people say they're not affected. You're affected by it. You are affected. You do get affected by it because you go to thinking You know you wasn't thinking a certain way. You never had the thoughts that you have now until you would start connecting with that person. You never had them issues. You never had suicidal thoughts. You never had depression and oppression. You never felt like your mind was constant battling. You never felt that until you started dealing with Jimmy. Poor Jimmy. I hope nobody on his name is not Jimmy, because I use that name a lot. Just I'm using an example. Jimmy just sound easy to say. Just like little Johnny, how they used to say Johnny had 5 apples. Poor little Johnny in school. We use Johnny for everything. Now they mixing up the names now. But yes, you never had that. You never had those thoughts and stuff, but you connected to a person who is dealing with that. I sure be praying like, Lord. Like, because you don't know what your ancestors did. You don't know. Yes. Undealt with issues. Yes. Keep putting stuff over it. You don't know what the ancestors did, so you can repent for that. But you repenting and you feel like things are still not getting better because you got to look at who you're connected to. On a spiritual and a soul level, who are you connected to? Who are you laying down with? I know it may be your husband and you love your husband. That's okay. You're supposed to. But have they dealt with their issues? Their secret sins, what they do in the dark, that they don't tell you, but you can feel it. You know something's going on. You know something ain't right. Hey, Junior, JR. You know something is not right. When we realize something's not right, then you go to prying and digging and find out stuff you don't want to find out. You find out stuff you want to find out, and then you're heartbroken. And now you wish you would have never did and stuff you never found out because you don't want to believe what you found. It's a lot of people dealing with some dark secrets. A lot of people, because a lot of people have been molested as a child by family members. Touched by aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, mama. And they're battling because they never told a soul. Never told a soul. Because you feel like you don't want to make nobody look bad. You got to shed light on it. You have to shed light or you'll never heal. People be so concerned about the abuser. What about the person who was abused? You got to address this stuff. But it all comes in through that gate. And that's why the enemy knows this. See, the church folks don't know this. So-called church folks, they don't know this, but the world knows this. That's why you think the world is so what they call it hyper sexualized. Everything is hyper, everything is sexualized. Everybody is attributes and breasts and butts and boot. Everything is so enhanced now. To lead you to that one thing that's going to keep you in bondage. Because believe it or not, when you give yourself to people, same thing with the man. Men think they can't experience this, but it's true. Whenever you tie yourself to a person in that way, you are giving them a piece of your soul. You're connected with them on a soul level. That's why if you like ever slept with anyone, right? Put a one in the comment, the chat. We all grown here. We haven't always been living right. We haven't always been living right. I'm gonna be honest here. That's why you learn, right? And I was going to say that's why when you giving yourself to someone, right? When you giving yourself to someone, I don't care how many years went by, and you see that person, no, you may not want to be with them, but when you see them, there's going to be this little knowing in your spirit, that little gut check, knowing that person has a piece of you. Put a one in the chat. Perversion, yes, Ebony's, yes. Perversion is at an all-time high. Lust, perversion. Think about it. I don't care if you were 14 years old, 15. When you didn't know what you were doing, 12. I heard somebody say they lost their virginity at 12. 12 years old. I heard somebody say 10. I was taken back. There's still this connection when you see that person. Put the one in the chat. I'll put my one in there. If I can see if I go, can I reply? I don't know if I can reply. Let me see. Few options. But my invisible one, put my one. Yep. Good evening, Maria. That's why it's so important to understand this. That's why God is waking up people to save themselves, because that is causing most of your spiritual turmoil that you're having. That's where that depression is deriving from. Depression, suppression. You're always up and down in your spirit. You think you need medication. You don't need no medication. Yes. That tie, that connection is there. That connection is there. Yep. But we don't be knowing. We have to learn this. And you can't be the police of anybody else's body either, but you can just speak the truth and tell them the truth. They may not get it. They may not get it. But speak the truth to them. Later on, they'll get it. Later on, when you tell them the truth, later on, it'll make sense to them later on. Because I sure used to think my grandmother was crazy. When she used to tell me stuff, you think old folks be crazy. You think your grandparents and your parents be crazy, but they have lived long on this earth. When you have people that are of wisdom, because you got some older people that are not wise. Let's be honest. You got some older people that are not wise. I've experienced that, and I was shocked because I was raised different. Because my grandmother, when I was raised by my grandmother, she taught me, that, you respect your elders and older people. They got wisdom, so you got to respect them. Oh, no. That's not always true. And I could tell for the ones who are older but still act like children, they have some type of issues underlying that they haven't dealt with. They haven't dealt with it. They're arrested in their development. Yep, they're arrested in their development. Because I had a person have a tantrum. The lady was 62 years old, had a full adult tantrum because she couldn't get her way. A tantrum. And I was like shocked. 62 at the time. And you having a tantrum because you can't get your way? And people will do that. But I had to talk about that. But let's continue with the message, the original message. There, you have the power to... Yes, Shakila. Yes. Oh, girl. We have to do another live on that. Remind me to do a live on that. Because, I just get the titles and the messages and I just come speak from the heart. Just talk from the heart, right? You can expect that from a 25-year-old, because I think 25-year-old, you got some mature 25-year-olds, but you still got some immature 25-year-olds. You really don't know who you are. I can expect that from a 25-year-old. But a 62-year-old? No. You should be an example. But that's what we do when we have our hopes so high into people. They disappoint us every time. Look, they disappoint us every time. Oh, I can believe that. The 70s. Oh, I can believe that. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, you got these old men still around here trying to pimp and thug and get them a little sugar baby. You too old for that. But they're dealing with some issues from their childhood. Older doesn't always mean wiser. Oh, my children are learning that quick. Older don't mean wiser. Older do not mean wiser. Wisdom is wisdom. You can learn. I learned stuff from my children when they were younger. They have some knowledge. If you listen, them children have knowledge. If you listen to them, if you can humble yourself and listen, because children are pure. I always say children are the closest thing to God because they're pure. And they're not really contaminated by the world yet. That's why you love little Jimmy before he got older. Before he got contaminated by his toxic family. You loved little Jimmy. Little Jimmy was pure. Little Jimmy spoke the truth. He was pure at heart. But then you had wicked people manipulating little Jimmy in his mind. Behind the scenes. So little Jimmy grew up with these expectations. Yeah, with these expectations. Because they start being contaminated by the world. And when I mean the world, by people around them, by the school systems, just by everything. Yeah. Children are close, real close to God. That's why they can speak so boldly. If you want to know the truth, ask a child. Say, little Jimmy, do this dress look good on me? Do it make me look fat? Or do you like my wig? Do my makeup look cute? Ask little Jimmy. Little Jimmy will tell you. They're going to ask your BFF. Your BFF going to say what you want to hear. But little Jimmy is going to say, a little child, I'm talking about little Jimmy, a little child will say what's on their heart. They will tell you the truth. They will tell you the truth. You want to know the truth? Ask a child. Don't ask no adult. Something appropriate about how things look. Do you like me? Them kids will tell you. Do you like being around me? My kids sure tell me, "Mom, your breath stinks." Or, my kids just tell me all the time, just out the blue. And they were innocent, so you can't get mad at them for telling you the truth. If you got morning breath, you got morning breath. I remember one time when I had my daughter. She was about 6, my oldest daughter. You know, I was about 20. I had her when I was about 23. I was still young, kind of young when I had her. Still a young mom. Oh, yes, they surely will. So I remember I used to always get excited about things. You ever get excited about things and say, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that? I used to be that person. Because I would get excited about things, but I didn't count the cost of it. And I used to always spend time with my children and take them different places. That's just who I was. I'm a fun mom. I'm a fun person. And I never forget, turn my air on. I never forget that my baby told me that, she said, Mommy, she said, you always tell us you're going to do something and you never do it. Oh, that thing stung me. And I thought about it. I didn't get mad at my baby. I thought about it. And I did do it too. I did. At that time, I did it. But I stopped. That taught me. My baby was 6. I never forget. She was 6. And I stopped that. Because what I would do, I'd get excited. And I had 3 children at the time. I would get excited about stuff. And I said, oh, we're going to go to this event, go to that event. Not knowing I'm working full time. I'm a full-time mom. I'm a wife. I'm going to school full time. I was doing all of that full time, and I go pop up like I'm Superwoman and say, we're going to do this and that. And my baby was like, Mom, you always say we're going to do something, and you never do it. Because my body be telling me to rest. But I tell them I'm going to do something, not being a woman of my word. But when my baby told me that, I stopped that. Oh, I stopped telling them I'm going to do something. Now when I do it, if I told them I'm going to do it, I follow through on my word. But now I don't tell them things. I learned. Let me see. Let me see it. Let me figure it out. Let me see if I'll be able to do it. Or it's a no or yes. I'm not going to tell them I'm going to do it. Either it's a for sure yes or we won't go. We will not go. Oh, my baby taught me. Well, she surely did. She taught me. And you got to listen to these kids. They'll tell you. They honest. That's why I protect my baby, my little son, my youngest, the 11-year-old. Very honest kid. Very honest. He's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. And you know, growing up in the black families coming up, put a 1 in the chat. Tell me. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Whenever we said anything coming up, close to sound like what they call talking back, we got in trouble. We got in trouble. Half of y'all got beat down. That's why you can't speak up for yourself now. If your mama don't beat the confidence out of you. She don't beat your voice out of you. That's why you can't stand up to people when they mistreat you. Because mama don't beat the assertiveness out of you. I stayed getting in trouble for my mouth when I was coming up. I used to get hit. I'm surprised my lips are not as big as they are. I'm surprised my lips are not any bigger. And I would still love them. But I stayed getting hit in the mouth. I stayed getting boop, boop, shut up. And I'm still yapping. They beat the assertiveness out of you. That's why you can't stand up to people. That's why you can't stand up for yourself. And that's not a good thing for us in the black community. Not a good thing. We should have been able to express ourselves. But we were not. And that's why we get in these friendships and on these jobs and we can't assert ourselves. Because it was beaten out of us. Oh, I worked my muscle. And I tell you, I worked my muscle. That's how I know God was going to use my voice. Because no matter what, I still couldn't be quiet. I used to get whooping, still talking. My auntie called me mouth of the South. Still going, yapping. Speaking up. I'm yapping. They should have, I should have been named Yelp. My nickname should have been Yelp. Always yelping. Yeah. They stopped us for using our voice. And that's all they knew. That's all they knew, though. So you can't really get mad at them. You just have to learn how to build that muscle back up. And that's what I did. I joined something called Toastmasters International. It's a nonprofit organization where you go and develop leadership and speaking skills. I'm good, Sheila. I just came from dropping something off for my daughter. And I just came to the park to finish part 2. And you know, I start one message and veer on over into other messages as led. So, yes. So we have to work on ourselves as usual and be receptive of people telling us the truth. You know, you notice now the world is very cold and hostile towards people speaking the truth. Yes, Ferris, it's called Toastmasters. The name don't match the organization, but that's what it is. Toastmasters LLC. You probably will have one in your local community. Google it. It's a real good organization. I joined that for like 3 years. I enjoyed it. It helped me with my public speaking skills. Gave me more confidence, leadership skills, taught me how to be more assertive, you know, in my speech and asking different things. Yeah, it was real good. I support the organization. Yep. I support it. And I loved it. Met a lot of people there. Great connections. All nationalities, walks of life. Ooh. And the Toastmasters I was a part of, he had almost every nationality represented. It was so diverse. And when things are diverse, that's why I say the chosen ones, see, we can accept stuff like that. We had people from all backgrounds, all religions, nationalities. But I learned so much in Toastmasters, just from those people. Learned so much. Yep, learned so much. But you should try it. You should try it. But it was very, very beneficial. But yes, you know, our parents, we beat the voice out of us. No voice. That's why most of you all became passive. You became passive. Because of how you were brought up. Shut up. Always been told to shut up. You talk too much, making you feel bad because you want to explain. And you know, when we came up, we tried to explain what happened. Especially if you are a child. This happened to me. My grandmother beat me. Yes, them switches. See, nothing wrong with the switches. My thing is, we've been silenced. You know, they silenced us when they should have been allowing us to express ourselves. But see, they didn't know. You can't blame them. They didn't know because they were brought up different. They were brought up like that. So that's why you got to do your own work. You can't be mad at your family. You can't really be mad at them because you got to remember, half of y'all moms and grandmothers, they were brought up in the slavery era. Yes. They were brought up in the slavery era. Yes, tell her she probably don't beat it out you, Maria. Like, where's your voice? Like, you probably don't beat it out me. And that's another thing. When you don't have to, when we're talking about, you don't have to receive their projection. You can reject their projection. Right? You can reject how your mom raised you. You don't have to raise your children the same way. And you know, some of your parents will get mad now if you don't raise your children the same way. People will get mad because you raise your children to use their voice. My children, they talk back to me. They talk back. Not in a disrespectful way, but if something is bothering them, I would rather them tell me instead of assume. Right? And sometimes they still won't because they got their little attitude going on. But I would rather them tell me than me shut them down. Yes. Oh, they really will. And I couldn't stand that. I had with my son, that's what happened. I had people try to overstep their boundaries with my son because they want to tell him what to do and give him stuff I'm telling them not to give, because I'm trying to teach him, I was trying to teach him to be grateful and, just teach him different things that I felt as the mother. But yeah, people try to overstep your boundaries, go behind your back, be planting seeds in your children. We're not going to get on that. That'll be a different lie. Then a different one. Groom these kids to turn against you, knowing you have their best interests, but because you don't raise them how they were raised, because they were terrible moms, them grandmothers, because they were terrible parents, they want to make you out of one. No, you were the terrible one, not me. Tell your mama you was the bad mom. You didn't raise me the right way. But that's okay, because I'm going to raise them different. They get mad about that. They get mad. But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, people trying to project their parenting skills on you. They want to project how they were a bad parent. And then they want to make you seem like they want to create this little, they want to create this false narrative. Like they the good parent all of a sudden, knowing you looking at their child. You got to live with their child. But now they want to try to take over your child and try to make up for what they didn't do with their child or what they didn't do with you to make themselves feel good. No, I see right through that. No. You get and you did what you did. You can't make up with mine. Don't try to spoil mine because you lacked love and empathy with yours. Now you want to put all that projection on me. Like I'm you and you me. Oh no, you don't have my heart. Yes, that's true, Candace, too. It is. It's true. That's true. But we live and learn. You can't, people, that's one thing I talk about. You can't beat yourself up about the mistakes you made. I've made plenty of mistakes. And I don't come here talking to you all like I'm perfect. I'm a truthful person. Truthful. My truth would set me free. Right? But that is true. That's why we have to learn how to heal and unlearn stuff, Candace. We have to unlearn it because growing up, your parents will tell you to stay with the man because he pays bills. Ignore that he got a whole knot on side of your head. They're going to tell you to put some ice pack on that knot so you can keep a house. You keep, it ain't funny because somebody on here probably go through that. But the parents do that, knowing that man beating your behind, but still encourage you to stay. He a good man. Yeah, he good at putting his hands on me because he hate himself. That's not a good man if he's blacking your eye for no reason. We need to stop this foolishness. Oh, wow, Candace. And that's sad. No. That's sad. It's sad. And I've seen people encouraged folks to stay in toxic relationships. Religion does that. Religion does that. Religion. Remember, I'm talking about religion. That's different. That's different from kingdom. Different from relationship with God. I'm talking about religion. Yes. He's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man. But he got 5 outside kids. But he's a good man. 3 side pieces. Not only one. One ain't enough for him. 3. But he's a good man because he pay bills. And he good with his hands. He fix stuff. But you stressed out. You on all type of antidepressants, all type of medication No, you let that good man go and be with them good side pieces who he with. That's what you do. Savannah, let him go. Let him go be with the side pieces. Yes, they'll force you to get married too, Sheila. They do. And we don't be knowing nothing about marriage. The true meaning, the God intent. That was you. They just want you to marry so you won't be fornicating. That's what that is. That's a license to not fornicate. Never mind all the other stuff. Never mind all the other stuff you're going to go through. That's why I say a seasoned woman, we know. You better get you a seasoned woman. Maybe we could hashtag that. We had the fat grapes yesterday. Now this week, we're going to do a seasoned woman. Get you a seasoned woman. A little salt and pepper, a little Lyrus. Now, Lyrus too salty. We want no Lyrus. Give us some Mrs. Dash. Some Mrs. Dash, that onion and garlic mixed together. A seasoned woman. A little black pepper. No salt. I don't like salt. We ain't trying to get high blood pressure over here. We need a good old seasoned tenderized. We good seasoned and tenderized over here. Yeah, hashtag the seasoned woman. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I forced you to get married. Yes, you made it. Yes, you made it, dear. And you got to appreciate that. You got to celebrate that. And remember that you're not where you used to be. You're not where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. Mm-hmm. We ain't no shake and bake women. We got some real season. They ain't gonna put nothing shaking and baking. We ain't using none of that. We want that. We season when we marinate overnight. You know, when you season them ribs. No, we gonna say chicken. You know, season that chicken and you let it sit out for a day. Let that season get down in the bone marrow. That's what we are, the seasoned women, okay? Yeah, the bone marrow. You know that chicken with the bone marrow good. You biting all in the bone marrow. Oh, Lord. I'm not going to start with you all today. I'm not going to start with you. But you don't have that food where you down at the gristle. You know that chicken so seasoned. The gristle good. That's when you know you got some good food. When you gnawing on that gristle, that's some good meat. They let that thing marinate. They know how to season food. That's what we are, the seasoned ones. Mm-hmm. Woo, I'm not going to start today. Not going to start. Hashtag the seasoned woman. Mm-hmm. Yes. But don't let people project their stuff onto you. Yes, marinate it. Yes. Marinate it. Don't let people project their stuff onto you. Yeah, because they will. Leave you back here battling in your mind. Because you don't pick up their projection. They trying to tell you. Have you ever noticed people tell you who they are? They telling you how they are, but they saying you're that way. You got to reject that. You reject that. You reject it. And they want to, you know, and two, they love to speak negativity over you. When you refuse to be who they want you to be and do what they want you to do. They go to speaking that they speak them word curses over. You got to cancel that foolishness out too. Cancel it out. And they get big mad when they see that foolishness is not working. Or they turn up the projection. Hello, Angelique. They turn that projection up. Oh, they get big mad. Saying all kind of crazy curses. Like, seriously? Yes, I rebuke that. Exactly. I be rebuking all the time. My kids will tell you it's my favorite word. I rebuke that. I'm going to start saying I cancel that in the name of Jesus. I renounce it. That's what I'm going to start saying. No, you can keep that over there. Because they'll speak stuff over you quick. and get mad at you because all of their little tactics is not working. All of their little slander, they'll get mad when they know they over there slandering you, right? They don't slander you and lied on you. They still trying to recruit people to hate you. They recruiting people and they wondering why. They wonder why. Yes, Shakila. Look, and they wonder why you still over there thriving and happy and whole. Because you over there canceling out their foolishness. Why do it in Jesus' name? What do you mean? I'm confused. What do you mean? The word curses? Why you cancel out in Jesus' name? That's what we're talking about, the word curses. People calling you crazy and speaking stuff over you. Because he said, anything you ask in my name, so shall it be. If that's what you're asking. It's like it seals the deal. And you have to believe it. Yeah, you have to believe it. And they'll have you over here looking like the cuckoo bird. And have you ever noticed too, those people, this when they should just give up. And that's why, people's hearts are dark. Because if they don't understand the correlation to them being sick, right? To their health failing, to them going through all sorts of health issues, they can't correlate that when your heart is dark, when you're trying to cause harm on someone else, you're causing harm to yourself. That's why they battle depression. That's why they're battling mental health issues. That's why they're battling high blood pressure. That's why they're battling with other ailments and sicknesses and stuff. Yeah, I'm with Ebonice. I don't do send back to sender. Because you got to pray for your enemies. Pray for them. God, them doing what they're doing, it's going to take care of itself. And I got a revelation about that. Because I used to be like, Lord, why? Like asking questions. Why? And, every dart send it back. And God gave me a revelation. That was in my devotion time. This was last year. Or year before last. It was during the pandemic. And I wrote it down. I write a lot. Especially my revelations and stuff. And I'm like, because this sounds crazy. Right? Listen now. We're going to be honest. Let's be transparent. It sounds crazy. Because, anything God tell us to do, it sounds crazy sometimes. But let's be honest. Especially that prayer, pray for your enemies. That prayer there, I'm like, pray for my enemy. No, Lord, I want you to do something else. But when God gave me the revelation, when he said to pray for your enemies and bless them, right? Listen now, this is what he told me. He gave me the revelation. He said, when you pray for your enemies and bless them, you are praying for and blessing yourself because you're speaking it out of your mouth. And whatever you speak out of your mouth is going to come back to you. That's why you can't curse people. That's why you can't do evil for evil. That's why you can't do evil for evil. Maria, I hope this helped you out. Because you don't have to curse your enemies because they're cursing themselves. Them doing evil to you is cursing themselves. Them speaking evil on you is going to go back to them automatically because of their words. And you ain't got to be like in hard, unless God leads you. You ain't got to be in hard down warfare prayer. You just do what he said. Lord, help me. If you can't forgive them, Lord, help me to forgive them. Lord, I bless them. Right? And I wish them the best. I want them to be blessed abundantly. I want their next relationship to thrive. Right? Say that. That's okay. It may hurt because you want that person. You want that person to be with you, right? Especially in relationships, it may hurt. But pray for them because you're just speaking that back to yourself. But see, you got to get to a place spiritually where you understand that. I thought the same thing too. Who that was? I ain't praying for no Satan. I show who. Especially with this one person. I'm like, no, Lord, I want you to get ready. I want to pray about it. You know, them prayers. Do something, Lord. No, he said no. And the chosen ones know. He's going to deal with that heart first. And this don't mean you have to kumbaya with them and break bread. See, we get that confused. You don't have to break bread with these people. He didn't say sit down and kumbaya with the enemies. He didn't say break bread and invite them to your house. He did say love them, forgive them, pray for them. I understand it's hard. But once you get that spiritual peace, then you'll understand. Because that spiritual peace gonna get you be like, you know what, you ain't gonna have me in unforgiveness. You cool. I be forgiving quick. I'm like, you know what, I'm not finna deal with this. I release them, Lord. I release them. Because you give the devil a foothold, you give him a foot, he gonna take a whole marathon. He just need one little wedge to come between people to get his way. One little misunderstanding. One little attitude. One little, person coming in to cause division. That's all he need. Just one. One vessel. That's all he needs. Just one. And the whole relationship destroyed. Whole relationship with the child destroyed because of one person. Some of y'all can attest, especially with these children. You got people working overtime to destroy your relationship with the children out of jealousy. Jealousy because they don't have the genuine love. They don't have the understanding to forgive and not hold everything against their children. They don't have the real love that it takes to be a mother. They don't have that. They don't have the understanding and empathy because they feel like if they child do one thing wrong, that child's condemned to the abyss of hell. Because that child didn't do it their way. No. Yes, JR. It's the spirits in them. You getting mad at that child. No, you let them have that attitude. You've been through that. You've been through it. I know I used to get mad at my grandma all the time. I'm glad she still loved me. I'm glad she didn't condemn and sent me to the abyss. But what I will not tolerate is a disrespectful child now. Now, if you just being blatantly disrespectful, deceitful, manipulative, I have to rebuke that spirit. I'm going to have to let you stay over there for a little bit till you get your mind right. Because some of them children will be manipulative. They deceitful. That little wickedness and evil get in them. They know how to be deceitful. Because the devil using them. But you got to see it and bind that spirit up. See it and cancel it out in the name of Jesus. I call whatever spirit they got going on out. You call it out. Don't sit there and be murmuring. You may look crazy to them, but hey, call it out. Call it out. That's the thing. We be ashamed to call this stuff out in front of our kids, or we don't want people to make, feel like we're going cuckoo. But they sitting there manifesting in front of you. Right? They sitting there got a whole attitude, whole spirit need to be cast out, and we just sitting there and we don't think that's weird. But we think, I bind that spirit of division in the name of Jesus. You come back down. Where my baby at? Yes, Sheila. We really do. Because the devil will smooth over and get in them kids. Because they're easy to manipulate. Because see, the kids, although, especially when they become teenagers, that's why I say them kids, I used to say the teenagers be going to Mars. They go to space and come back after a certain age. Because it seemed like something take over them kids at a certain age. It happened to me. You guys didn't feel like that? You guys didn't feel like something, you just was trying to figure things out. Like you wanted to do your own thing. You didn't want to listen to what your parents said. You just want to try to figure life out. And you thought you had it figured out until you realized, no, life too hard. Let me go back. Let me go on back. Let me go on back, tell my mom I'm sorry, my grandma I'm sorry. I'm sorry, grandma. Yeah, it's hard out there. Look, went out there 2 days and life don't beat you down in 2 days and you don't return home limping. Limping like a little hit dog. You know when the dogs used to get hit by cars and they run and that little back leg, fold up. Yes. Yeah, they'll start early. That's why you got to pray this stuff away. Cancel this stuff. Yes, this unity trying to take root. Yes. Yes, it's a spirit. And unfortunately, you have people perpetuating this stuff. Greater is he. You have people perpetuating. They like that division. They like it. Yep, they like it. See you trying to bring unity, and they'll go behind your back intentionally and cause discord, intentionally lie on you, intentionally plant seeds, and have people confused as to what's going on because they behind the scene causing discord. Planting seeds in people's head in the back. And you ever notice chosen ones? Let me tell you something. Because your heart is so pure and you forgive people, right? You forgive people. Probably is Sheila. I hope so. What you say? The sixes, baby, come to break the curse. Candace, you say your dog used to run away. Yes, Sheila, I hope so. Yes. I forgot what I was talking about, laughing at Sheila. Sure did. And stay in your prayer closet, greater is he. Put on that worship music. Get up early in the morning. Yes. And you can feel that tug. You can see when that shift go to happening. Yes, you can feel when that shift go to happening to them kids. You can feel it. You can tell somebody's saying something or something's going on. You can feel it. You can feel it. I know with my son, when he used to go, my oldest, when he used to go certain places and come back, he always had this attitude on him as if I couldn't tell him nothing as his mother. He used to have this attitude on him. And see, I wasn't where I am now spiritually. I didn't understand. I was still battling different spirits, from being connected to certain people. I was still dealing with my own stuff. But I did used to notice that. He used to come back, this spirit of disunity. He used to come back and then act as if his sisters couldn't touch the stuff, he had. He came back with a whole different attitude. Oh, thank you, JR, for the $5 super chat, dear. Thank you so much. Yeah, so he used to come back as if no one couldn't touch his stuff. And I used to make him give that stuff up. You're not going to come with this attitude of, and see, I didn't know at the time, I didn't know what was happening spiritually. And what was happening is he was being groomed against me. He was being groomed against me. I didn't even know it. God showed me that revelation later on. He was being groomed to eventually turn against me. Yes, he was. I didn't know that then. God showed me that. Showed me that. I didn't even know. Because see, that's why I say you can't beat yourself over. You can't beat yourself over things you don't know. Don't beat yourself over that. I had to learn to be okay. You got to let God be God. He'll change. And if you want that situation to change, pray and ask God to change that situation, no matter how long it takes. Pray and ask him. He will. And I only share this only because I know God is going to turn it around. But I got to trust and, believe and speak the truth about it and not try to hide it. You can't try to hide stuff like this as if your life is perfect. No, God told me to come speak the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This on a spiritual level. Spiritual level. This spiritual level stuff, we dealing with some big curses. Deeply rooted curses. That's what we dealing with. Yes, we have a heart. We really do have a heart, a big heart. And people know it. That's why we always getting hurt. That's why you always running back home like that hit dog with that little leg, and you limping going back home. Because you got a big heart. You go back wounded. You go out with your big heart open. Superman with the big heart on you. Superman got the S. The chosen one's got the heart. And you going out there with your heart out open. No, you got to learn how to protect that. Put your heart back in. And you got to protect it and be wise. Use that sensitivity, that spirit of discernment. And don't override it. Yep. Believe, because this fight will never be a never-ending fight. But you can still be at peace. See, that's what the enemy is after, your peace. He wants your peace. He wants you to be worried about them kids. He wants you to be worried about what the ex doing. He wants you to be worried about what people are saying about you. He wants you to be worried about this stuff. But when you finally find that peace and God give you that stillness, you don't worry about it. Because it's taken care of. He wants you to worry about your job, how you going to pay your bills, all this worrying about stuff. That's what he wants you to do, because he want to drive you nuts, make you stressed. If you worry, you're going to become stressful. You can't do that. If you want to be free, start telling God your needs. Start asking him. That's what I'm doing. Asking him, Lord, this bill is due on the 6th. Help me, Lord. Show me. I know you told me that the other day, Victoria. Yes. Lord, please provide this bill. Matter of fact, Lord, give me the means to pay it off so I won't have to get back into this debt again. Show me what I need to do. Teach me how to be a good steward. That's what I'm asking for. Teach me how to be a good steward over what I have. Not just maintain it, be a good steward. So I don't have to get in this situation again. Yes, great is he. Yeah, he just put it on my heart to say it. That's what we have to do. Start asking him. He said we have not because we ask not. And we do. I'm going to be honest. We don't be asking him because we don't be believing. We don't be believing. We don't. We don't. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. We only believe when our back is up against the wall. That's what we only do when we like at the bottom. Then we have all the faith we need because we don't have anything, we don't have anywhere else to go because we already on the bottom. But we shouldn't have to wait till we get on the bottom. But sometimes he take us there so we can believe how we need to believe. But Lord, don't send me on the bottom no more. I'm going to believe right. Lord, you don't have to send me to the bottom. You hear me? Lord, hear my words and mark my words, Lord. Jesus, you don't have to send me to the bottom. I'm going to ask right here while I'm on the journey. I'm going to ask you right now. I don't want to hit rock bottom to believe no more. I'm going to ask in the middle. Ask on the way up. I'm sitting at this park. These little squirrels are having a ball. It's so cute to watch. That's why I keep looking over. They're out there playing. It's so cute to watch. Oh, thank you so much, Angelique. Thank you, dear, for the $20 super chat. Oh, you making my heart. Oh, my dear. You making my day, I meant. You and JR. Thank you so much. That's such a blessing. Exactly. I'm like, I'm going to believe now. I don't want to believe when I'm at rock bottom. I don't know why we like that. You know, we're not like, I don't know why we're like that. We feel like we can't believe. What are you saying, Victoria? Yes, it will take a toll on you. Yes, it will, because his heart is pure. That's human. He has a human heart. Oh yes, Shantae, I'm back. He has a genuine heart. Whenever a person could empathize with someone they don't know, they're human. When you can't empathize with people and don't have no heart for folks, you are not of this world. You of this world, because you know this world belongs to someone else, the devil. But when you can empathize with people, you're not of this world. Your heart tells you. Yes, he will, Sheila. He'll help you. Listen, when I tell you I'm believing, I don't want to be. I'm telling you, I want to be at the bottom. Lord, I don't want to be at the bottom no more to get my faith up. My faith up right here in the middle. Look, my faith up here. My faith right here. My faith up. I'm going to ask for what I need. Lord, I pray I want to be debt free, right? I don't want to have to rely on using credit cards. I want to be able to use cash. Only credit cards for like booking trips or something like that, but not just to be using it to go get gas or something, or, you know, no, I want to be able to rely on cash only. I want to be financially free, financially independent, but I want to be a good steward in the name of Jesus. That's what I want. I want to be able to help people without hesitation. Without hesitation. It was one thing that I promised God. I won't say it here because I don't want nobody to take advantage of me. It was one thing I promised God. If anybody ever did this one thing, I would do it. If anybody came to me with this one thing, I told God I would do it. Regardless of what it is. If they came to me with it, I was going to do it. I'm not going to say it here publicly because I want nobody to take advantage of me. But yes, that was between me and God. It was this one thing. And to this day, I haven't failed at that one thing. We got to believe. I'm believing. I'm believing my cup will run over in abundance. I had a few people, and you know, I receive prophecies, but you know, I have to pray about it to get my confirmation. Because, you know, sometimes people be saying things that sound good. You know, everybody be wanting money and all that. But I had some people prophesy to me. 3 different people prophesied I was going to be wealthy. So after the second one, I was like, yeah, that's God. The first one, I'm like, I don't know. You know, you got to be checking stuff out. I'm like, I don't know. They just probably saying that to get my, what it is, you know, people say stuff to get your, not tithes, your offerings, you know. I don't be with all that. I don't be with the people for prophecy type stuff. No, I don't be with all that. So I'm like, okay, I didn't look weird in their face, but at the same time, like, okay, let me just take this to God to see. And another person told me, and then another person told me. I said, okay, so it's confirmation. I got to believe. I got to think like it, because I already been thinking like it. So I got to think like it. I say, Lord, when you do bless me to be a manager, because it won't be mine, I'm going to give that to the Lord. I had to learn. This is not my stuff. I'm just a manager of it. I'm a manager of the wealth that God gives me. That's all. I'm a manager. I'll be a manager of it. It won't be mine. Like my money, I won't, no, you won't catch me saying that foolishness. This the Lord's money, and whatever he tell me to do, I'm going to do with it. So that means if he bless me with $1 million, tell me to give $1 million, guess what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to come up off $1 million. Because that's what he told me to do. Not get $1 million. And I'm using a big number. Because that's the kind of obedience you have to have. Not get $1 million. And he said give a person $1 million, you give him 900,000. No, you got to get the whole thing up. Because you're the manager. And when you become a manager of stuff and you're a good steward, you know God going to bless you back 2 or 3-fold, 4-fold, 7. You know it's going to come back. It happened to me. Let me tell you what happened to me. Oh my goodness. Neighborhood's on lockdown. Oh my goodness. Victoria, be safe, dear. Be safe. I remember one time. Yes, Sheila. I remember one time. Let me tell you, I was struggling. Ooh, I was struggling. God was testing me too. When I tell you I was struggling, that's what I meant. I was struggling. And I remember somebody came and asked me for $100. 100. That's how bad I was struggling. 100. I had a little bit of money in my savings. I didn't have money to spare, but I would have had a little bit left over after that. But I'm like, man, $100. That was a lot to me at the time because I was struggling. If anybody ever struggled, I mean real struggle, you know $100 go a long way. $100 go a long way when you in the struggle. And I was struggling. The person called me. It was for a funeral. It was a family member called me and said they were needing some money. You know, they were trying to collect money for, the funeral. They were trying to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, how much do I have to give? Because I didn't have anything on me at the time. It was in the savings. And the Lord said, give $100. I'm like, $100? I got big mad at God about them $100. I'm like, 100? You know how you feel stuff in your spirit? I'm like, $100? I'm like, ooh, that's like giving away 1,000. Because I was struggling at the time. I'm going to be honest. I gave away that $100. I kid you not. I kid you not. I gave away that $100. I got a phone call out of the blue. Out of the blue from my godmom at the time. And she said, come meet me to Walmart. I got something for you. Come meet me to Walmart. Out of the blue. I haven't talked to her in a while. I used to talk to her, but it had been a minute because, when you're in the struggle, you don't want to talk to nobody. When you struggle, your conversations you don't want to talk to nobody, But something said, go ahead and go. So I went, met her at Walmart. And at this time, my baby needs some formula. I wasn't breastfeeding, I wasn't breastfeeding, which I should have because I just didn't know. And with the last one, I was tired and, I was just tired. I wasn't in a good place. And that pregnancy was different because, you had them pregnancies older and I was struggling. My baby needs some formula. I'm being transparent with y'all. After I gave that $100 to the family member, I could have bought some because his milk was expensive. He wasn't drinking that cheap stuff. He was drinking the top of the line stuff. And she said, meet me at Walmart. So I met her at Walmart. And this what God gonna do for some of y'all when you're managers and when you obey him. And remember, I told you that $100 was like 1,000 because I was struggling. I didn't have it. We had to pay for formula out of pocket. We didn't have no WIC, no assistance. Nothing against WIC, but we didn't have it at the time. Met her in Walmart. She blessed me with $200, and it felt like I won the lottery. $200. God gave me double for being obedient. I went and bought my baby some formula, that expensive formula with one, and I had another $100 left over I put up for later on. Tell me God ain't good. I know that's a small scale with money, but tell me God is not good. After I didn't want to come up off them $100. I came off the 100. And he ended up blessing me with, I had to find my charger. I came up off the 100 and he ended up blessing me with 200 out of my obedience. was like, look at God. And ever since then, when he say to do something, I do it. Ever since then, I hesitate. Because I saw what he'll do. I saw it. I don't hesitate. Because he showed me he showed me too many times what he'll do. He showed me too many times. He proved himself on a smaller scale. He proved himself to me. So now I can trust him on a bigger scale. So if he say come up off that meal, I got to come up off that meal. Come up off 1,000. Whatever he tell me to come up off of, that's what I have to come up off of. That means to let go. When they say come up off that, let go of that, get rid of, yes, he will. I don't know if you all experienced it, had that kind of experience. If you haven't, pray and ask God to give you that experience. Right? And my glasses were. Pray and ask him to give you that. When you're obedient, he'll do it. I had that happen too many times. Too many. And I was like, Lord, I trust you. I trust you. And when I tell you struggle, I don't want to tell you what type of struggling, but I was struggling. I ain't going to put y'all in my business, but I was struggling. Just say that. That'll be a testimony one day too. But he haven't released me to speak on that yet. But yep. So that's what I want to come talk to you all about. I got to get on. I'm going to church tonight Wednesday. Yeah, I'm going to go to church tonight. Yes, obedience is key. Yes. When I be trying to learn stuff, and we don't know everything, because I don't know everything. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a Bible scholar. I don't know all them scriptures. I know some little staple ones. I don't be knowing all them scriptures, right? But I know enough to get me through and to believe. I know enough to believe. And it don't make sense to know all the scriptures anyways if you don't believe it. Because we know a lot of people know some scriptures, but they don't believe none of it. Not none of it, none of it. Like they say in the South. They don't believe what they read. I don't want just to be a person who can recite scriptures. I want that thing to, I want to be able to manifest what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is another word. This is gonna be for somebody. I'm gonna have to get off here. You see what I just said? I don't know all the Bible. I don't know all scriptures. I can't come here and preach you under the table. Because I'm not a preacher. I can't preach you under the table. Don't want to preach you under the table. Sounding good. I want you to know how to believe. But what I was going to say is some of you all are holding back on what God told you to do because you feel like you ain't qualified. And the Lord said you qualified. That's what he just said. The Spirit told me you qualified. You qualified. You got it. When you release yourself and you break the chains of religion off your mind, you are qualified. Ask God to show you. Your way is not going to be everybody's way. Everybody's not going to be everybody's not going to be taking them deep breaths like that, like they about to drown and got water in their nose. Everybody can't do that. That's not everybody's way. That's not everybody's way. They teach that craziness, which I think is craziness, to be honest. Now, why they teach that? You go, and like they can't breathe or something, like you on the water. No. Don't need all of that. Them people need to be taught. They need to be taught how to do stuff. Because people are looking. They're looking. They're looking. They want to be taught. They want it to be made plain and simple. That's what I do. I look for plain and people who saying it plain, using the word, but saying it where I can understand. So I can stop doing stuff that I don't have in the business, so I can learn. And that's what I do. Exactly. But the world taught us if we haven't gone to theology school, you are not you shouldn't be saying anything. You don't have the certification. You're not certified. The world don't came and start prospering off God. The world don't came and monetized going to theological school when God used to call these people. Yes, you go learn, but you ain't had to go get no certificate and all that. They don't came and monetized learning God's word. Yes, Victoria. Oh, won't he do it? Girl, won't he do it? People got to understand. That's why God said he'll provide all of our needs. Not our wants. He said our needs. And that's what I want to be to people. When I hear somebody say, oh, my light's about to get cut off, and I'm there listening, and I have the means, I want to be the one to give them the light bill money. If somebody say, well, I got this bill coming up, ain't got no grocery, because you hearing that, you supposed to meet that need. And you know they're genuine, because you know people just are not responsible with their money. You know, you got those people, you got the people who God trying to teach a lesson, like he did me. He took me through a lesson so I could learn about my finances. He took me through. You got the people, and see, that's why some of y'all loved ones can't get the picture that God trying to teach them, get the lesson I meant. Because you're God in their life. You're always there for them. You're always there. But God taught me when he took my grandma away, I had to depend on him. I had to depend on God and my own work. I can't call nobody else. And when he set me free this time, I won't be getting back into debt. Never. I'm gonna make that stance today. I won't be getting back into no debt, no student loans, no none of that. No, that's not his way. But yes, the world monetized off God. Yes. I want to be that person. I want to be that person. Yep. That's what I want to be, that person. Not for me, but because that's how God said we should be. Even in my own family, even the ones that don't like me, I want to still be that person. I don't want to be a sow a seed for your need type person. I want to meet the need. God, so I am the need, the need meter. I want to be that person. I don't want to be the one that ask. I want to be the giver. That's what I want to be. To pay it forward. That's what I want to be. The one that buys the groceries. Help people, you know. And that's why that's why people talk about a wealth transfer. I understand that. Like, you know, like what they talking about. But I kind of get it now. Spiritually, it just came to me. I kind of get it now. I don't know if y'all been hearing about it. Kind of get it. I kind of understand a little bit of it now. He going to put it into the right hands. Because the right people going to do right by it. And God will test your heart to see. He'll test you to see. Because you know money is only going to exaggerate who you already are. Think about it. People with money, if you get money, it's only going to exaggerate who you already are at your core, at your heart. So if you are a giver, When you get money, you're going to be a giver. Right? If you are a snob, you're just going to be a snob with money. If you're an angry person, messy person, cheater, and you get money, you're just going to be an angry person, a messy person, and a cheater with money. Caroline, so now, yes, Caroline, yes now, yes, because you've become God in their life. He know he can depend on you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. He can depend, he know he can depend on you, Caroline. That's why. Redirect them to God. He may get mad at you, but he'll be all right, because he's not going to learn his lesson, because he know mama got him. Mama always got him. And these kids know that. Mama gonna always be there. That's what they know. But when God tell you no, you got to be obedient. Oh, I listen. It hurts. When God tell you no, it hurts. When I heard God tell me no about my son, that thing stung me. Stung me to the core. But I had to be obedient and listen, because he was protecting me. Because you know these children will break your hearts if you let them. That's why you got to be spirit-led. Oh, it hurt me to my core. Hurt me to my core, because, you know, we feel like we got to be there for these children. We got to be there for our children, and you're supposed to. You can't control everything, but when they have to go through their own go-through, you got to back up. You got to back up. When they got to go through their own journey, you got to move out of the way. Whether that leads them to homelessness, wherever it leads them, you got to move. Because they're not going to get the lesson. And you just pray that God keep that buffer around them. Keep them protected. I'm listening to Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas, he's a chosen one too. He's chosen. Y'all know Eric Thomas? I listen to him all the time. He just got he's a chosen one. And chosen ones are sensitive. Right? He's sensitive. And when his mama lied to him about his daddy, that sent him from a loop. Because some of y'all got 3 and 4 daddies too now. We got to tell the truth, shame them devil in the black community. Right? We got 2 and 3 daddies. Some of y'all got your, and that's another curse we're going to talk about. That's something we're going to talk about with these daddies, because you don't be knowing your identity when you don't know who your real daddy is. But when I listened to Eric Thomas, and he was mad because his mama, he found out that his mama told him that his dad, who he got his name from, Thomas, is not his real dad. His mama lied to him all this time. You know, he a chosen one. And he got mad, and he ran. He left home. He didn't have to leave home. His mama didn't put him out. He decided to leave home and go live in abandoned buildings and go live like he don't have nobody that love him. But his mama let him go. Let him go through his process, because she couldn't control him. Once these kids' or minds are made up, you can't control them. Don't break your own heart trying to control them. But see, what he learned in being homeless made him who he is today. Eating out of garbage cans. He talk about it. Eating out of garbage cans. It may hurt you, because there's going to be a blow to your ego, mom. Because see, you thought you was raising your children right and doing right by them. And you don't want to look bad. You don't want nobody talking about you because your son going to be homeless. He out there eating out the garbage can. You don't want people talking about you. I'm sure that lady didn't want that. I'm sure she didn't want that for her son. No good mother want that for their child. He didn't have to do it, but he did it himself. Even he say he did it. He had a daddy that was there. Once he realized and came to his senses, because I told you the aliens come get these kids. Something come get these kids at a certain age. And they bring them back. And they be a new person. Grew up in the house. He grew up in middle class. But because he want to do what he want to do, like he was hurting his mom and he was only hurting himself. But God still used that to grow him and make him into the mighty man he is today. He's a powerful speaker. Powerful story. And we want to protect these children all the time. I told God, I release them in your name. Yes, when you decide, when you decide to say you standing for God, that's the first thing the devil gonna do is attack them kids. You the only one gonna be standing for God, because them kids gonna be out there running rampant, doing what they want to do, some of them. Some of them, not all. Because most likely, if you're chosen, you got some chosen children. So they gonna go through stuff too. So you got to be willing and let them go. Pray for them. Oh yeah, when Lord told me no, that thing cut me to my spirit, cut me to my soul. That thing pierced my heart. But I had to stand on what was in my heart, the right thing. No. Because if not, there is no telling what would have happened. Gotta let them go through their journey. This is not gonna stop me from talking about it, but you gotta let them go through the journey. You got to. Any of your children, let them experience life while they're young. So they won't do it when they're 30. Do it when they're 40. When they're in their teens, let them do what they want to do. You let them act as foolish as they want to. But you keep them prayed up, covered up. They want to leave, let them leave. They don't want to respect you, let them go. They can disrespect you over there. As long as you know you did, you got to let stuff go. But now that Eric Thomas is a speaker, he talk about it. When he wrote his book, his mama didn't want him to write that book because it was going to bring shame on the family. And that's another thing. When God starts using you, let your family get mad. You got to tell your story. That's what people want to make it about them. People want to make it about them, and God trying to do a work in you. He's trying to see if you're going to be obedient. He's trying to see if you're going to be obedient. You telling your story is going to free you. But he said his mama was back there worried about him because she didn't want nobody to know she was a teen parent. See, she was a teenager when she had Eric Thomas. But our parents, we don't want to be, sometimes they want to be shamed. They don't like to tell their stuff because they want to save face. And that's why I said we can't forget where we come from as parents, because we done been through stuff too. Yes, they really do. The right family. Me too. But that's the journey. And now they got the best relationship. And another thing he talked about, and this happened a lot in relationships. Another thing he talked about is he couldn't love his wife. He couldn't give his wife all of him. He couldn't give his wife all of him because his wife, his mama lied to him. If he couldn't trust his mama, how was he going to trust his wife? Because his mama lied to him about his daddy. So if his mama lied to him, he put all that on his wife. And he couldn't give his wife every part of him because he didn't trust his wife, because he didn't trust his mama. That's why some of y'all marriages are in turmoil. That man mama don't lie to him, and he's taking it out on you. He's making you pay for the stuff his mama did. That's what Eric said. Him and his wife was always going. He'll tell you. He talk about it. They get 6 months in. Then come the 7th month. He back at where he was. He back where he was. Because he was still going around that cycle. He didn't confront his mama. That's what he said. He never confronted his mama about lying to him about who his dad was. He never confronted her. Although he knew the truth, he never asked her, why did you lie to me? So he held that all those years, making it hard for him to be in a good relationship with his wife. Because his mama lied to him. He talked about it. He said when God first finally confronted him and told him he had to go confront his mama. He didn't want to confront his mama because, in the black community, these mamas, we put them, they right there next to God. You got God, then you got the black mamas. We don't even reverence the daddy like we reverence these mamas. I don't know why. It shouldn't be that way, but we do. Tell the truth, shame the devil. We got the mamas on a pedestal in the black community. But he was scared. He was afraid. That man was afraid of his mama. Because that fear was instilled and ingrained in him from a young age. But he had to confront his mom. And when he confronted his mom, that's when everything broke off of him. Everything broke off of him. And he was able to have marital bliss with the only woman he ever been with in his life. Oh yeah, Candace, your mama is a fighting word. Because we made mama our God. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil. Mama is God in the black community. That's why we can't seek God. Because we got mama there. She going to take care of it. She going to bail me out. She going to be there. She going to pay for it. And that's why as soon as mama say no, you're the worst thing in the world. When mama don't rescue you. When God tell mama no and mama don't come, oh, you hate it. You hate it, but you got to go through it. You got to go through it. But yeah, he said when he confronted his mama, him and his wife, the issue he always had with her dissipated. Yep. Couldn't have that bond with his wife because of his mama lie. That's why that thing's spiritual. He had to break that. That's why you got to address. You see when he broke it? You see when he shed light on that? The enemy don't want you to do that. You see when he shed light on what he was dealing with his mama, that grudge he had in his heart. He pushed that back in his heart, and God brought it back out through a prophet. Yes, somebody prophesied to him and told him it's one thing that's holding you back. And the lady said, you know what that one thing is. Only you know what it is. And he said when that lady told him that, he already knew what he had to do. And he said he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. He went down screaming, tooth and nail. He didn't want to do it. But guess what? God made him do it because it was holding him back. He confronted God, a.k.a. mama. And I'm not talking down no mamas, but tell the truth, shame the devil. Tell the truth. I know it's an ouch. Just say ouch in the chat. That's all. Just say ouch. That's all you got to say. But once he say he did, that's why I love listening to him. He got me through some hard times. Because some of his story, I can relate to him. Although he's a male, I can relate to his struggle. Never been homeless, but I can relate to him so much. On my way home, when I get off this live, I'm going to listen to him on the way home. Yes, Miss Candace, ouch, girl. It hurts. Just say ouch. And the truth will make us free. That's what we got to get. We got to go through this truth. We got to get through it. And that's how the enemy keep these generational curses in the family. Because we never shed light on it. We be scared. Oh, I don't want to say that because I don't want her getting mad. I don't want him getting mad. No, we're going to say something. We have to say something. That's my problem. That's why I used to get hit in the lip so much. I be the one telling, hey, granddaddy. Oh, they doing this over here. They doing that. I used to be the one telling. They doing wrong stuff over there. Or the snitches. What do they say? Snitches get stitches. Oh, all this would have been taped up. I would have been stitched up from here. What? I would have been stitched up from here to here. All these lips just stitched. Listen. It was just in me. It was nothing I could control. Trust me, I tried to control. I couldn't control it. This is how I know it was something more spiritual happening with me. I couldn't control it. Oh, I was gonna tell. I was gonna yap. I don't care I don't care who threatened me. I don't care who threatened me. I wouldn't have been one of those people that a person could abuse. And I'm not using this example to make anyone feel bad, because the enemy knows who to seek out when they're abusing children. Because it almost happened to me. Right? Almost. But I went and told. Granddaddy. Cried loud and I spared not. I told my granddaddy. I was the one that was gonna tell. I'm gonna kill. You know how they say I'm gonna kill your family if you do this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna do. You gonna have to share. You gonna have to just spray the place up because I'm going to tell. Listen, it was just in me. It was in me to tell. Yes, it was. I was going to tell. I would have been, if snitches get stitches was a person, my face would have been right next to the, the picture. You know how they have the memes? If this was the person, I would have been right there next to it. If snitches get stitches was a person, my picture would be right there. Let me get off here because I go to get acting a fool when I need to get some rest. But I'm going to go because I got to go to church. It's the last night for Hunger Nights. So, yes, I tell it to the mountain. I tell it who? I just couldn't control it. I couldn't control it. But I wasn't going to sit there and see something and not say something. That wasn't me. I remember when one of my cousins, she's long gone now from here, she went to this party. And she knows she wasn't supposed to be drinking no beer. She called herself being grown, and I found out she was drinking beer. You know, I went and told my granddaddy. I told my granddaddy, she was drinking beer. And my granddaddy tore her butt up, too. And she was like, I only took a little sip. My granddaddy said, I'm going to sip your butt. But he said the other word. He said the other word. I was the snitch. I was the snitch. I told on her butt. Rest in peace, cuz. I told on who? I told on her. I sure did. I was the one got her that whooping. She needed it because she shouldn't have been drinking no beer. Y'all, like, I see why people don't like me. Look, I see why people don't like me. I see why. I'm going to tell. Where he went at? That way. Pointing that way. Yes. I remember she got there when we went to it was a little community dance. Yeah, went to the little community dance. And, yeah, she over there drinking beer like she's grown. She was a few years older than me. Yeah, she was young. She was young. Yep. She was young. Yeah, she, Lord, I told her she got a whooping. And I don't regret it either. And she shouldn't have been drinking at that young age. But you know what? Then I thought about it. So, I'm going to talk about this later. I'm going to have to come back later because I'll be here all night. Because I'm already, an hour in. Oh, thank you, Caroline. Girl, it's just a little comedian. God said he was going to use that too. Before I did my channel, and I think I mentioned this before on another video, I don't know. But when God told me to come on here and start this YouTube channel, I didn't want to come because I didn't want to, I wanted to pretend and be somebody else. I didn't want to come be myself like I am now. And he said, no, I want to use everything. You go as yourself. I want to use everything. And he said, and I'm like, Lord, sometimes I be acting silly, because that's me. That's part of my character. And he said, I want to use that too. And yesterday, I felt in my spirit, he said, I'm going to use that laughter to heal people. Ain't that something? He said, I'm going to use your laughter. Thank you. I'm going to use your laughter to heal people. Isn't that something? He said he gonna use everything. And he just showed me that yesterday when I was on the live. Now, you know, day before yesterday, when I had on the, not the park, not the black top, the video I did before that. See, I was gonna use that. And I'm like, wow. And it's just in me. It's just in me. And it just comes. You see how it just come? I could be going serious and then come up with all this foolishness. You know, I'm going to do better. But it's just in me. I be trying. I be trying. Even my daughter, I say, baby, pray for me. Keep me in your prayer. And she say, Mom, I can't pray that way. That's just how you are. Because, you know, I be acting silly and stuff around the house. So I do silly stuff. And she be like, no, I can't pray for you. That's just how you are. That's just part of your makeup. So I don't ask her to pray for me no more. Oh, thank you, Shantae. Let me tell you my secret. Can I tell you my secret? I always love pretty blouses. My grandmother started me to wearing pretty tops, right? This one I got from Shein. Shein or Shin, or what is it? Shein. That's where I got this one from. I love pretty tops. I go everywhere. Wherever I can go, long as the top is pretty, I'll get it. I love pretty blouses. I love it. Yep. I love pretty blouses. But yes, that's what I wanted to come just talk to you all about. I think I'm gonna change these top titles, because I don't think we talked about anything. We talked a little bit about you have the power to reject their projection. It is, right? Shantae, I love it. I don't know what you said, Victoria. All right. Okay. Me too. Blouses are my thing. I'm not into purses. You know how some people are into bags and stuff? I'm not into bags and shoes and purses. I'm into cute blouses. You know, everybody have their thing. So that's my thing. I love cute tops. Yep, I love it. Oh, thank you, Miss Candace. Yes, honey, he did work in me. You know, I always been funny, but I had to heal. I really did. I had to do the healing. I really had to do the healing, dear. And it took work. Because, you know, when we have to heal, we don't want to face ourselves. We don't want to face ourselves. It looks, when I tell you I did the ugly cry. Oh, I did the ugly cry. But that's part of the process. And when he tell you to do something, this channel is part of my healing. Me being obedient. And that's what you have to do sometimes. Be obedient so you can get your healing. If he tells you to address something, address it. Don't worry about what people are going to do. Don't worry about what they're going to say. Don't worry about if they get mad. Don't worry about it. Do what God tells you to do. That's what I used to do. That's why I stayed in bondage. Let me be real. Can I be honest with y'all? Can I be more transparent? That's why I stayed in bondage. I was afraid to say what he told me to say because I was worried about people getting mad. They just gonna have to get mad. Because I'm gonna be obedient to what he's saying. That go for anybody. I got to speak the truth, what he's telling me to speak. Look how so many of you all could attest to what I'm saying. Look how I'm helping you all. Look how I'm helping you all. I didn't want to do this. Just imagine if I was disobedient. You all wouldn't be here today. Just think about that. And I think about that with people who've helped me along the way. If they didn't walk into their calling, I wouldn't have gotten where I am because they didn't do what they were assigned to do. I had to stop worrying about people. God had to break me free from people bondage. I was in bondage. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil. I was in bondage. Yes, I was. And we're going to be honest over here. Let's be honest. He will send you allies. But we be so afraid to lose the people we have. We be so afraid to lose them. But I had to stop being afraid. That's why I say I gave it all up. When I tell you I gave it all up, when I say I detached from everything, I meant that. I meant what I said. I meant that. When I say I detached from everything, I did just that. And if anybody know me, I love people, my family, my children. If anything I don't love more is my children. I had to detach from them too. I love them, but I can't keep my emotions attached. Is what I mean. You love your children. You love them and pray for them. But you can't keep your emotions attached to where you're afraid to speak the truth to them. Because we get formulated in this world way of thinking, we become passive and be afraid to speak the truth to our children. Because it's spiritual knowledge. And you know they may reject it. And you don't want them to reject it because you want to be in good graces with your children. Because you feel like one day you're going to need your children to look after you. And rightfully so, but you still can speak them you still can speak the truth. You love your babies, but detach. You will still love them unconditionally. But what I mean by detach, you know what I'm saying? That emotional detachment. Don't put them on the throne of your heart, because they will disappoint you. Oh, it's hard. Oh, it's hard. You think it was easy for me to tell my son no? My baby was 19 years old, and I had to tell him no. Because he had to learn his lesson. Love him. Of course he's mad. He's still mad at me. Probably have some hate in his heart for me too. But I love him. And I understand spiritually what's taking place. See, when you understand spiritually, you will know how to pray. You'll know how to pray. He's 22 now. Yeah, he was 19, 22. You'll know how to pray strategically, because you're fighting generational curses. You're fighting people projecting stuff on your children. Fighting the doors he don't open up. He's fighting. He's battling. And just like we once were, we got to remember. I remember when I was a teenager going through stuff. 14, I was younger than him. 14, 15, 16, 17. Going through my own, trying to figure out life and identity and why I feel this way, why I feel. Let that go. I know my grandmothers were praying for me. I know they were praying for me. Because I was protected. I was in places where when I was with this guy, he robbed somebody and I'm sitting there with him. Teenager, a baby, don't know what I'm doing. God was protecting me. Grandmother's prayers was walking with me in this foolishness. They can say what they want to say. Prayers work. You can't be God in people's life. Only thing you can do is be the seed planter. And you may not even get to see the transformation. But them prayers gonna manifest after you dead and gone. So you got to put them out there. Cancel them. Pray. It's not your job to see it through. Not your job. You got to know that. See, I know this sounds too deep for some of y'all. Because that's your baby. You got to let them kids go. Give them to God. They got to go through their stuff. Oh, this world will teach them. It taught me. How you think I have all this wisdom? The world. Got to let them go through that go-through. See, what we do is we think we can carry the weight for our children. We think we can go through the, we think we can go through their journey. You can't walk through your child's journey. You can't walk through your child's journey. He gonna have to walk that journey. I'm sorry, you can't walk through your baby's journey, honey. Oh, your daughter gonna have to go through that. You gonna have to see her go through. You have to see her confused, battling, and watch it and pray. You gonna have to see it. You have to see them get an attitude with you. Don't want to listen to what you got to say because they don't want to hear what you have to say. You gonna have to see it, but love them still. They'll know the love there. They can be mad and cold towards you, but they gonna know the love is there. But detach. Give them to God. Why we can't get our relationship that we need to get with God because we too attached to people. Especially them children. We too attached. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil. Which we should be building up, getting our armor right, so we can continue to pray and fight the good fight of the good, the good fight of faith. Right? So I hope this message helps somebody. I hope this message helps someone. But I got to get on this road. Hopefully I'll be on time to church. I'll see. Call and check on my baby. You are welcome. Y'all be blessed. And oh, Caroline, it's good that you tuned in. Yes, and you got Candace, boundaries are the #1 thing to a sane mind. I'm going to leave you with that and I'm going to go. Boundaries will help you maintain your sanity. Boundaries will. Be blessed.